The weird thing about what I do is that I actually have no reason why you guys are here. I don't know why you clicked this video. It might have been the YouTube algorithm, or it could have been your buddy Jeff who sent you a text message with this exact video. But if I had to guess, I would assume that you guys enjoy me talking about Age of Empires 2. And more specifically, you probably come for the depth of commentary or maybe the way I describe the matches. I'd like to think some of the jokes I make, but that's probably not it. Maybe my island strategy, but no, that's not it. Or maybe, I know, to help you relax and sleep at night, as recently dozens of people told me in person at a USA viewing party. Thank you for that, guys. I don't know exactly why you're here, but I can guess those things. And the one thing I didn't mention is for my gameplay. I'm just not known for being a player. I'm known as a commentator. And of course, my playing can add perspective. But beyond the memes, you think of me as a commentator first. But I do play the game. I play the game quite a lot, and I like to bring my experiences to you. And just the other day, I told myself the classic one more win, and I queued up for a ranked game, only to get the winner of Hidden Cup 5, Hera. So I immediately was like, well, one more win, huh? Looks like I'm playing at least 2 more games. But I wanted to bring this game to you guys. I thought it would be I thought it was a really good game with lots to break down and lots to talk about. So here we are. Here I am in the blue at the time, ranked 2300 at the bottom right. You can see Hera all the way up there at 2700. I am playing as the Gurjaras. Hera is playing as the Slavs. And when you're playing against a player who's as aggressive as Hera, what you're hoping for is a very closed version of Arabia if you get it. And, well, this is pretty freaking open here, right? So it's going to be lots of potential for aggression, lots of crazy plays. And I do promise you that, guys. There will be crazy plays and lots of fun to be had in this game. So the Gurjaras, just to break down some basic things, because basically what I try and do when I cast one of my games is I want to come at you with the options the Civs have, but then also I'm going to bring to you what I'm thinking based on how those bonuses play out, right? So Gurjaras are a fast start civilization. And my thinking is, if I'm going to have a chance against a player like Hera, I'm going to need something extreme, right? So this proper balanced game that you see at the very top of Age of Empires 2, not really going to be able to fall into that type of a game very frequently against a player like Hera. Because I don't have the speed, I don't have the youth, I just don't have the ability, and that's, I think, being accurate. I don't think that's being too harsh on myself to simply have a perfectly balanced game. So the nice thing is the Gurjaras can have a really smooth start, but what would really help with smooth start is if I could find freaking deer, man. I mean, guys, what more does a man have to do to find his deer here? Again, I share with you my thoughts and feelings. Where's my deer? I've scouted everywhere. Are they here? Are they here? Well, no, I'm still looking. Fortunately, the sheep in the mill with the Gurjara start gives you a bit of a food trickle. The berries is nice. But yeah, no deer to be had for me. Is Hera having the same problem? No, Hera found his. He's just scouting his map. And he's just chilling. The thing that's nice with the elephant start is you do get more food than a boar. So it's 400 food instead of 340. So I get the extra food. I'm gonna be able to click up at a pretty decent time. But again, I'm thinking if I'm gonna have a chance here against Hera on Arabia, I gotta get some extra food. So there we go, pushing in that extra food. So as we build up, and we could talk a little bit more about the Gurjaras. I did see Hera spotted me here, and so naturally, I'm going to say something. And I said, I'm being rushed. But I did want to kind of talk about my situation as a player with you guys, right? And I don't know exactly where I sit on all this, to be honest. But just voicing my thoughts, it's I'll spend all day casting this event, or I'll host this tourney, Hidden Cup 5, and there's all these maps and all these cool things. And it's I just love it, right? I get into the depth of the game, and that's some of the depth that you hear me explain when I'm casting for you all, right? And so then there are days where I'm like I think I have the knowledge, right? So I'm like, ooh, I know I can do that. Even see an elite player do something, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I agree with that. So I've got these thoughts and opinions and this mind for the game, and I go in there with all that feeling and all that energy, and I play, and I suck. And listen, I know that it's like on paper I don't actually suck, right? I'm top 100, whatever. But the top guys, right, are so good, right? They punish any tiny minor little mistake, and I have many minor mistakes that happen. And so there are days like that where I'm just like, why am I even trying? Like, why am I doing this? And I could justify it because it's like, okay, this is my job and there's experiences, and it adds a lot because I could tell this story to you right now. But, then there's days where it's actually clicking for me, right? And it's like, ooh, okay. And so I think there's enough of that fire in me because I'm like, I don't know if I'm on the cusp of anything, but I'm there, right? So this particular day, I was like kind of clicking a little bit. This is maybe one of the better versions of me in a game that you're gonna see. And so I'm proud to say those words to you. I'm happy that I could bring a pretty high level against the best in the world. So here's the deal. Hera on this particular day is doing wacky stuff, right? Now I'll talk about this in more detail. Every time I play against a big name, it feels like they're doing wacky stuff, but it kind of fell a little lose-losey, right? You win against someone doing wacky stuff. They were doing wacky stuff. They weren't playing serious. You lose, you get flexed on. But I was like, I actually told myself in the moment, because this is where my brain goes. My brain's always firing off all the time. My thought was, don't sweat that stuff now. Leave that for commentary and just play the freaking game, right? So I'm like, all right, we're going to play the freaking game. And I'm going for scouts here. Now, Slavs have supplies for free. So Hera tries to take advantage of that here by making the militia here and going for quite a bit of aggression. Now, really awkward situation for me because right now I've got a wood line. There's lots of hills involved. I could lose villagers very quickly. So you have decisions to make in these instances. You can choose to wall it up, which is extremely difficult. Or if you don't think you can do that, you pull all the villagers to the same side. And also, any engagement I'm able to take before he gets the man-at-arm upgrade is good for me. Obviously, instances where I'm playing a player around my level, it's like, maybe he gives me a few more hits, maybe he doesn't have the patience. But I'm just thinking, any hit I can get onto these units now, the better. But I'm ready. Like, I've literally got these villagers on a control group ready. The second he moves into attack, I'm pulling vills and fighting. And so still don't see men-at-arms, still taking fights, this extra villager's helping, and overall, still no still no eco losses for me. And we've been able to get some decent hits. Now, in some ways, of course, he is trading militia for scouts, but I'm going to take that trade if he's made more than 3. These villagers were on straggler trees and have run out of straggler trees, so a stressful time for me, as you can imagine. Now, behind this for Hera, he's got, what you would expect with him is he's got that crazy farm eco set up already. And my wood eco was in jeopardy there, so I wasn't really able to do too much. But, we thwarted the first attack. And now in a standard game, you're going to have like an archer or a skirmisher follow-up. But I wasn't really sure what to expect. These scouts are weak and don't offer too much for me. My archers moving forward with low numbers wouldn't make a lot of sense. So for now, I keep my archers at home. And I move forward to find out what Hera's doing. Now, he has his target area, right? His target area has been found. This is a problem for me and an area I need to worry about. Here, I'm going to, keep him honest, just try and attack, let him know I'm there, make him second-guess things. But now I see the man-at-arms, and this is now where I've got to try and quick wall and damage control a little bit. Nice thing for me here is his scout's weak, so his scout actually can't properly block. And I did, I don't have the speed to actually look at this. I did just put my scouts in there on attack stance to attack. Because I was like, I got to do something against him. And again, the player at my exact level. Sometimes you get a Vill pick there. And really just struggling to manage the situation right now. So, now I've got some walls down around the wood line. It's not pretty. The efficiency is not great. But He's going primarily man-at-arms. And so I want to stress to you something that's so important in this moment. This isn't meant to be coaching, but I'm happy that I've utilized some of my teachings, some of my theories in this particular game against Hera. I should just play it, but basically, right now, the man-at-arms do not pose an immediate threat. The reason is because I have the walls. So because I'm protected here, I can counterattack. And so it's an immediate move for me to counterattack to get to his base because I'm safe. Now, Hera, he doesn't see the archers. So in his mind, he should be thinking the archers are headed to my base. He should have that level of recognition. You can even see the new archers coming in. And so, you know, a little messy situation for me, but at the end of the day, the man-at-arms haven't killed me yet. And so my archers are on the move. And so here's where things get interesting. Now, I don't know what Hera was thinking in this exact moment, but he's trying to break through the house, excuse me. And clearly he didn't expect the archer counterattack. And the first one to kill a villager after all this aggression, and still having to manage all of this at the same time. So this is a really good spot for me, right? Now, microing both sides is tricky. Here, I'm trying to break through. You have to attack the house. But if you attack the house, you're not attacking the villagers when they go to build the house. It's a tricky little defensive maneuver Hera's going for. But I'm making progress here. And my archers, I also have to keep an eye on them here, because Hera can pull them. If he does this, he could pull them close to the group. Now, I didn't see flame on my lumber camp. And I actually don't know what's normal, but I didn't know that my that my lumber camp was almost down. I thought there was flame. I could have sworn. I still think there's flame, so I don't know what's normal. But I didn't see flame. I'm microing here, feeling like a god. And then I look back, and there's freaking man-at-arms in my wood line, and I don't have a lumber camp anymore. So, yeah, I mean, this is crazy aggression, and it's really hard to micro archers in different groups. And Hera's made so many of them. Crazy stuff from him, and obviously he kills 3 villagers there. But there is something in the back of my mind that's just like, well, what's his follow-up, right? What is he going to make? Is he going to keep making these? Because as long as I don't lose my archers could be the key. I'm going to just reposition to this wood line, get the villagers out of there. And you need to have a patient approach here. Now, again, normal situation for him here. I think an archer range and some skirms makes a lot of sense. He's having some fun with infantry. And, you know, again, he loses this game. We were just trolling, right? He wins the game. Then, I mean, it obviously looks amazing. I don't have such luxuries, my friends. I just don't, right? So I'm out here and I'm like, okay, at least I could take the elo. And let's make him work for it. So we are on the way to Castle Age. Archers coming forward again. Again, we're in a situation where the infantry is not able to do immediate damage to me. So anytime that's the case, I'm going to take my opportunities where I can. Now he makes a little gate trap for me here. I remember thinking, that does nothing. Why are you even doing that? And obviously, I'm still trying to micro here. We do get a villager kill. We do get even another villager kill. So we've evened up the villager count. I still have to micro this as well. I jump into the TC. We've got archers. He's microing away. I'm microing this. I look back here. My archers are dead. It's like, even when casting, there's a lot happening at the moment. These 2 villagers are over here for some reason. But res collected's pretty close. We're going to be in Castle Age before he even clicks. This, my friends, is a recipe for success. The archer micro has been on point. We haven't used the market significantly, right? Which is a sign the eco's been balanced. Eco upgrades are looking pretty solid. And I am 30 seconds away from upgrading these archers. And we got archers microing here, killing infantry. We've got archers microing here, killing infantry. What's he still making? Infantry. What do archers counter? Infantry, baby. And, I mean, his resources are looking pretty good. But, here we go. Not bad. This is a high mom moment. Mom, we're doing it. Beating the world's #1. Let's go. Are you proud now? No, I mean, she's proud. That's... I don't want my mom to hear that joke and, like, have the joke imply she's not proud of me. She's proud of me. I love you, Mom. Woodline could be an exposed area for Hera. And he is doing something similar to what my house was accomplished before. It's like defend and counterattack, right? I'm just looking for anywhere to do some damage right now. But it's also, I'm a little worried. So the idea is send my crossbows forward and brace myself for what's to come. And my initial thinking was, I need to go all in one town center to kill Hera. But not having knights is a big problem. Like, if you can go knights in combination with crossbows, then I think you can really kill somebody quickly. But not having knights is really complicated. And Gurjaras don't have that. They do have the Shravamsha Rider, which I'm going to try and make use of. But Shravamsha will be used as mainly a raiding unit. So we're playing that. Remember I said, like, we don't want to play that standard type of game. I'm pretty much playing... Like, obviously, the opening here, the continuous longsword spam, that's not standard. But from my perspective, this is a fairly standard game. Timing of the eco upgrades, timing of the attacks. So I figured the Shravamshas can be used as an annoyance. Maybe able to pick off a couple of villagers here or there. These crossbows are already idling 5 villagers. My villagers aren't idle, so I'm happy with this. And towers are not going to protect against crossbows. Now, this is huge for me, guys, because he can't complete the siege workshop. So that's what he really needs, is he needs some siege. So here I'm waiting for those villagers to eventually have to hop out. Here I'm happy to just kind of let the crossbows sit. Sure, they're going to die. I'll make more of them. And so 7-3 eco KD for me. More villager kills coming in on this side. Resources collected is still very close, which is, it's wild to think about. We're able to kill a monk here, though. And we've got ourselves a really nice lead. Continuing to be annoying with the Shravamshas, killing more villagers. And I should, if I am worth anything, YouTube, this is GG. If I am worth anything, 51 villagers versus 36 against number 1. So 2 TCs now. Eco is flying, right? Farms aren't looking too bad, or so I think. Eco upgrades are great. Again, I don't have knights, but my thinking is the Shravamsha Rider is going to be good to pick off some siege. I think getting into this area, I think maybe prioritizing the wood would be a good thing for me to do, but we've already done so much, right? We've had him completely off of gold for a long time. And we killed enough villagers to be happy. And now we've lost 7 crossbows underneath the tower. And what? I don't even... Hello? Okay, I actually don't even remember... I remember losing these and thinking it was fine. I don't even remember losing those. Okay, so not the best. Not the best. Not the best. That gives Hera an opportunity to come back in the game a little bit. I think if those crossbows would have moved along here towards this wood line, that's maybe an avenue to move. From my perspective, I did not think Hera would be exposed over here. All right, so Hera's on Scorpions and Hera's on Longswords. Again, unfortunately, I don't have Knights. Knights would be perfect. It's mobile. It's great against this. Crossbows, though, will have ballistics. And so my thinking was never rest here, right? Continue to be aggressive. Don't psych yourself out. I did leave this wood line. This is interesting. I knew this was exposed for me, and I just left it entirely. Hera knows he's exposed here, and he left it open with an outpost. It's definitely something to think about. Because this game is... I've gone over it a couple times in my head. I don't think it's bad to preemptively move, but I wonder how much that affects efficiency. My thinking is find some damage, and Hera... He notices the Shravamshas here, gets some house walls down. And he does attack the exact area I abandoned. Again, I don't know if it's bad I abandoned the region. I knew I couldn't defend it. And so my crossbows here, you can't see it because Capture Age doesn't show it. But I'm trying to break through here. And the TCs are like, the range for the TCs gave me a 2-tile gap. So I had to be patient there, sat in that area. And I continued to move through. TC does complete for Hera. He's up to 3 TCs with the fastest farming civ in the game. I'm 20 vills ahead. I've got crossbows with ballistics and a mangonel in defense. This should be a really nice position for me to defend. I'm still attacking here at the same time. Complicated. I did use the Mangonel there against the Scorpion. I'll lose the Mangonel. But my TC and the crossbows will kill most of these longswords now. At least that's the way I thought about it, right? So I didn't even use like my brain space to look back here as I'm trying to micro this at the same time. Little awkward with the idle time. Obviously not the prettiest, but hey, keeps the crossbows alive. And now in these standard games, it's all about the farm transitions and getting that eco up. And that's the big thing. It's like Hera has 31 farms right now with the Slavs. I've got 17. Some villagers are going to go back to work, but I'm going to get the market to balance my eco. And now we begin to think a little bit about the late game. So I actually played this exact matchup in a tournament against Nili last year. As we see, I'm a little distracted with the other group, but I get the kill here. Not bad. And I was Slavs against Gurjaras, and it went late game. And my impression is Slavs completely destroyed the Gurjaras in late game. And my impression is that because Halb and cheap castles is incredibly strong. Gurjara chakrams are quite strong. But I don't know. It just felt like, at least in that particular game I played, it just felt like Slav late game is just so good. And, you know, the Gurjaras... sorry, and Hera is where I meant to go with this, is also known for his insane strength in the late game, right? So, like, this is getting to danger territory for me at the moment. And I'm just trying to find whatever damage I can against the guy right now. I felt like if he's going longswords, that I'd have two options against those longswords. Again, I don't have the knights, so that's not an option. But then I also, as Hera comes over here with siege and we have to micro a bit. Not the prettiest micro, but I'll take the mango and I'm fine with that. So there's the chakram thrower, which is great against infantry, sorry. And there's also hand cannons as an option. The problem with hand cannons is you have to wait till imp and after chemistry. So I felt like I would have nothing available to really compete for the map control right now if I went for hand cannons. Crossbow is just walking against the edge of the map. Just sat them there behind the wood line to be annoying. And I'm on my way to imp. And somehow, some way, Hera is doing the exact same and has not been broken yet and is snagging up all the relics. So again, another big thing for long term. 5 relics on the map. Hera already has 3 of them. Big shot from him there. And those relics are definitely going to be a big factor if I'm unable to finish off Hera in due time. Now, a lot of this settled, like, I used as much aggression as I could realistically put on while also macroing. And I'm pretty happy with the eco setup. There's definitely some T90 farms, but the amount of farms I have, the positioning's decent. I was very worried about this particular area of the map because chakrams don't feel that strong until upgrades later on. So I did, these castles felt like mainly for chakram production. I would probably not place this castle here so close to the other castle if it wasn't needed in my mind in terms of game plan. What's Hera gonna do? Well, he's not making stables, right? Making stables here would not be very off meta, and that's kind of the idea behind his approach. So he's going with, he's playing open. He's not played with any walls whatsoever. And he's chilling right now. And he sees the chakrams. Now, I end up killing that monk. I did have monks of my own out there looking for relics at some point. I know there's a monk on the field. Yeah, I'm looking. I'm starting to expand a little bit with vision and outpost it to have an idea. Stone shaft mining is coming in. That's an upgrade I don't research all the time, but I really wanted the stone so I could make chakrams. Now, this unit is insane in key situations. Like, any units that group up, it's insane against, basically. The weakness of the chakram is also its strength. Its strength is when you have a lot of them in one group. That is also the weakness if your opponent spreads out against you and goes into a million different positions. Right now, res collected. I'm able to be ahead. Farm count actually ahead of Hera. That will probably change. And he drops a castle here on this hill. It hasn't been a stomp. It hasn't been a complete embarrassment. I haven't been flexed on, you know. It hasn't been a confidence ruiner, which happens when I play the big names. But this has been a solid Age of Empires 2 game. This has been sick. It's been different. We've had different units. We've got Hera now going for Onager. Now, similar to what I just said about the Chakrams, it's also the weakness of Hera's composition. His composition is slow. So it's a composition that it's hitting you in the mouth, or you're getting picked apart somewhere else, right? And so really important for him to advance forward with that in mind. And I saw that, and I was like, ugh, and I immediately build a castle back here. And that hurts, because I really need access to stone right now. Now I'm looking at the map, looking to see what else is out there. I see the neutral gold is there. We know the other neutral gold is there. And this is not something I want to engage against. With Elite Chakram, you can consider it. I don't have Elite Chakram yet. And my thinking was, if I go for Elite Chakram, it doesn't give me a comfortable fight yet. I'm seeing a lot of exposed area in Hera's Eco. And that's something I want to exploit at this point in time. Because essentially the castles protect me. Hera saw this castle, can't advance. Sees this castle, can't advance. And now we're forward. So, up to this point, I'm giving the guy a run for his money, right? I'm making him work hard. This has also been, like, a bit off meta, something a little bit different. He's obviously the better player. Everybody knows that. He's trying something special, okay? I would like to think that this was the moment, like, in this particular instance of the game, this is where he starts to sweat a little bit, right? I come at this with the perspective of a series that I'm bringing back soon called T90 Trolls, where it's like, I'm playing against viewers, and I'm given a challenge in a certain way you need to play it. And I've done it in the past, and I've had to stop myself from, like, switching out of the gimmick, right? Right? Because then people are like, no, you're not sticking with the thing, right? Hera's going Siege Onagers right now. So, maybe, I think poor timing on my comment. He's sticking with it. Siege Onagers, and I haven't been able to break him just yet. I mean, he's sitting on endless resources, right? Endless resources. So, maybe I'm not making him sweat. I don't know. But what I'm doing here is I'm building up this eco even more. And I'm trying to get Hussars, and I'm trying to get buildings, and I'm trying to micro armies at the same time. And the idea is pick him apart. Freaking pick him apart from all sides if I can. Just now, Elite Chakram coming in. It's been a weird one, right? Like, I've had the Chakrams, but they haven't done anything for me yet. Hussars really need to be the key, and I don't know if I'm missing conscription right now. Maybe a few more stables. I am adding more, but it's just taking some time to get these units forward. But, you know, I said that I thought I had him worried because I'm starting to see these castles in his eco as I'm going to raid. And I'm thinking, what part of off-meta is this, Meta Lord? Farms in the eco and defensive castles everywhere? I've seen this story 1,000 times in tournaments from you. Off-meta might, you know... I'm like, this is not... That's not true. This is very smart, and it's very important for him to survive such a situation right now when he's not pushing. Now, he hasn't even gone for champion yet, and I'm still building up. I've got 35 Hussars in queue. It's crazy how I'm not pop capped yet, but we're starting to find some areas, guys. And the idea is we raid with Hussars in one area, and then we raid with Hussars in the next. So you're going to see... Just based on my rally points, right? You're going to see me sending units down here. Starting to get those pickoffs, trying to find these areas. It's tough with all these castles. And when I have his attention here, the goal is to shift elsewhere. Now, from my perspective, what I've seen, I know he has the swordsman here, and I know he has a castle. Okay? And so I'm thinking, there's a lot of armies standing around for me right now, but... I'm thinking we need to use bombard cannons against the siege, possibly. We need to use bombard cannons against his buildings. But no big mistakes. We don't have any relics. Gold income is going to be tricky for us to come by. I'm microing down the siege onagers here. He's at 150 population. And we're making it happen. And we're building more and more castles. He's going to have castles covering everything. So my way to break him is to pick a side, and this is the area I want to take because there's the gold here, and I need the siege to push this position, and then his base is wide open here, which pushes him right down here where I already have army, right? Really important timing in this game. And chakrams haven't really played a role because we haven't seen a lot of infantry from him, except for randomly, throughout his base. And so, he's been sitting on a lot of resources. And he's going to start to get stable upgrades now. And I think I spoke a little early. Obviously, I know what happens this game. But I really think at this point I had him worried, right? At this point, he's like, oh, crap. I gotta make hussars now. I gotta do the thing. So, this is what I consider, if I was casting this and I didn't know what was happening. This position is textbook. Showing up here with the cannons and having them ready onto the castle is textbook. I've just got to get more than 2 cannons there. Ideally make some trebs. He's going to have to react to this. And what I say all the time when I'm talking about not trickle trebbing is you can't show your hands too early in these situations. You need to, boom, castle the hill. That castle needs to start dropping. That's the idea. And unfortunately for me, I didn't have trebs. 2 bombard cannons go down. My other cannons are kind of out of position here. And I'm going to lose another one. So 3 out of 4 bombard cannons for a player that doesn't have relics go down. We're still finding villager kills. We're still splitting it up. I notice he's starting to wall here. So I'm hoping to get into this position. Yep. Because I need... This area needs to be open for me to be able to have success on the other side. But now he's got Hussar. Like, now this is different. Now he can raid me back. Now he has units to snipe the siege. And now, because what do you call a trickle cannon? Because I did whatever the cannon thing was, I don't have the edge just yet in this Treb war. And it gets very dicey because if siege onagers connect, I'm going to have big problems. Now he tries to raid me. I build this castle solely as a defense for raids. Maybe back further in the corner wouldn't be bad. Feels weird, but I just don't want to be focused on raids. I want the castles to do the job. 1 hit on these chakrams, and I lose everything. So we've got a micro like crazy now. We do take out the castle. So now the next step is to make sure we keep our own castle up. And like he said, or like we said, sorry, the chakrams get hit. They get slaughtered. Now, this is a neutral gold I have. I also have the other neutral gold in the map. So my thinking is maybe I could mix in some camels just against these hussars here. And I'm still just trying to snipe every siege onager I can every time I see one here. I see a treb, I need to snipe it. I see a siege onager, I need to snipe it. That's the goal. But the castle's going down. The treb's very weak. Do get another treb. Chakra mass. Not what it used to be, but the hussars continue to pose a threat, and we've still got them on the freaking brink here, people. And I'm building up the chakrams, right? Like, behind this, the chakra mass is going to grow to hopefully take care of any helps. Don't want to lose another cannon, so I back away. Snipe the siege onager, micro it, let's go! Feeling good, looking good, keeping the castle up. And so I think this area, like this is the area. That's where the relics are too. This is his eco. This is the eco we have to hit. But again, there's always going to be new siege onagers on the way. Trying to make this tricky for Hera right now. It's been a great game, right? 55 minutes. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you made it to this point, didn't fall asleep, didn't skip ahead, leave a comment. I'll look for it. Always good to know. Like, I want to know how captivated you guys are. And we're sniping the siege. I'm feeling very comfortable with the siege that I've been able to snipe here. This is my perspective here. So I know I saw him chopping wood. I was thinking he might run out of wood. Always an interesting thing to see here. Now, he is walled here, so I have to run through Castle Fire. This is like a really tricky spot to get damage in. But sometimes, life is tricky like that. You just gotta push through anyways, right? Let this be a motivational moment. By the way, if that doesn't motivate you, how about researching arson so my chakrams destroy a watchtower faster? Because that's what I just did. I see Siege Onager, I attack Siege Onager. If I lose Hussars, who gives a crap? It's food. I don't care. I don't freaking care. I just want to kill Siege Onagers. This tower has actually killed a few chakrams, so it is actually a problem for me because chakrams are made of paper. And tower still doesn't go down. I run the Hussars away, not wanting to lose my chakrams. I fall back to the castle, and then we got more Hussars coming in. Crazy scenes. Just crazy. Now, if it's an even relic split, it's actually pretty decent for me. Now, an even relic split, I still think it's better for Slavs because basically without gold, the Gurjaras can't do anything against Hussar. You need gold to deal with Hussar. That would be the Chakram or the Camel. My civ doesn't even get pikemen. So I think even on relics, the Slavs are still superior on paper based on like late game technologies and whatnot. But anyways, it's not even with relics. Obviously, he's got those 5 relics. And right now, relics, and now now we see the APM. That's funny. Relics had brought him a lot of gold. He's got 3,500 gold from the relics. And, you know, you see it now. It's something I talk about all the time. The second I'm not pressuring him properly, and this is actually me building up siege, by the way. I'm going to lose a lot of chakrams here. The second I'm not pressuring him, he stabilizes and he counter raids. But now I'm going to counter raid him. And again, this is like not an area that you normally get too excited about when it comes to raiding because of all the TCs and the castles, but there's still vills there. He gets a couple Hussars into the opening on this side. And I don't have the castle coverage he does. I do not remember how many villagers I lose here because I was very focused on the fights. But I obviously remember taking some losses if it happens. And we make our move as best we can towards the Siege Onagers. And that is a big blow to my chances. And, I mean, I just spent, like, the last 5 minutes building up the chakra mass just to lose that. But if you want to know, like, I was garrisoning here. Like, my reaction to that raid is why that happened. And Hera's got those relics. He's chilling right now. But still, Siege Onagers are expensive. He lacks the Halb numbers here because he pulled the Halbs over here because of these raids. He's got quite a bit of vitals. 5 hours of vital time from him. I've still got Hussars in queue. And I'm still... My plan here was to push from this angle. Now, maybe this angle could have worked, but I had a castle here, which felt important for a push. The Chakra Mass is going to go back up. Hussars just going in towards Siege Onagers. I think 30 Chakrams is the key. 30 Chakrams is when these things become insane against groups. And pretty much groups of anything, by the way. I remember when the unit first came out. I think they nerfed it since it first came out, but I remember not believing the unit existed. These Frisbees, man. They're incredibly strong. And it does help make up for the fact that my Hussars don't get that extra plus to attack from Blast Furnace. I'm really wondering if I research Conscription or my unique tech, by the way. Soon, my version of Capture Age will be updated to show that, like we had for Hidden Cup. I've been using it, the Hidden Cup one, because it still says Hidden Cup on the top, which feels a bit weird, but I do feel like maybe I missed some technologies here. Snipe a couple Siege Onagers, force him back into the base. Not too bad. He gets another raid in on me. And I've got a couple camels patrolling around. Not heavy camel, but still some units to hopefully deal with that. But I've got to find a way to break him, and I think I have one more go at it because I am out of gold. I'm officially out of gold. Now, these raids have been annoying me. This is definitely where my brain is going. What is off meta about raiding me with Hussars? What is off meta? What is this? 100 farm Hera is Hera. But I'm putting up a big fight. And I think Hera might have been similarly as annoyed. Ooh, that's interesting. With the Hussar raids into his eco. Bombard cannons, I move them forward to snipe the Trebs, and just like that, cannons are getting sniped. And it's just so brutal. Not having any Halb meat shield. Just not having the positioning with my Chakrams there. And I'm still gonna have the Treb. I'm still gonna have more cannons. I've got them around. But I'm officially out of gold. And this is where I thought if this castle goes down, it's GG. I mean, I felt for a while I've lacked confidence, right? Like, I understand the situation at hand here. And I know he has the relics, and I know who he is. But, you know, I was just like, this castle being up still gives me a position to hold. Normally, holding the corners in these games is so important. That was sick micro from him. He actually pulled his Hussars back to bait my Hussars into the shot. And I'm just like, oh, no. So what do? We style on him. Boom! Boom! Yeah! Take that, Hera! Where's your siege onagers now, fool? Forget the fact he can make, like, 20 more of them. That wasn't bad, right? That's the highlight of the game. In fact, Hardy, can we just cut the video right here? I don't think we need to end it. I think the people are pretty happy with this. I think that's the best way to end the video. Definitely don't show the fact I raided with camels and then took that shot to the face. But, yeah, I mean, like we said with Chakrams, right? Chakrams are really strong against big groups, and it works against Siege. I should know, in the game I played against Nili that I mentioned, I was Slavs, and I lost like 8 Trebs to Chakrams. The Trebs would line up, and the Chakrams would take them right down. It was pretty painful. But even though I felt it was over, I still wanted to fight on. The population doesn't say it's over. My farm count says it's still got a chance. Maybe there's opportunities. We did just kill a lot of siege onagers. I don't know how many farms he has. I can assume certain things, but you play on here. And the goal is to, again, maybe try and break him with some raids over time. Maybe he runs out of wood. Because genuinely, like, from what I can see, that was part of my thinking. Is if this becomes a wood game and I have this northern corner, very easy for me to raid here. And then this, I can see. Like, he hasn't left this corner, right? But he's not going to run out of wood yet. And his Hussars have killed most of my Chakrams. And I did have to go, but I didn't mean to say got to go. It was just a bit of a misclick there. And the GG's called. And that's the game. So, a really interesting game. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, Hera basically just... He memed a little bit at the start, but I mean, having said that, there's a lot of aggression, right? He had really good eco. He macroed his best, and I, of course, put I gave my best shot to beat him, and it wasn't able to happen. Now, this game, you know, again, it's a bit of a tricky one for me. I've had 2 days to think about it, right? Because so I'll give an example. I played MBL maybe like 24 times, right? MBL, another pro. And MBL has said this, right? People say this. They say, if we're going to play against T90, we have to do something that's not standard. Because if we lose, we have the excuse that he didn't beat the best version of me. And if we win, then we just styled on the caster, right? And I totally get it. But, you know, I've been on the other end of some of them where, and it's not like I'm being memed on like crazy, right? This isn't that insane. But it is at a level where, like, from the competitive perspective, I would prefer to lose to someone's best, right? Because winning, I want the winning to feel real. And so, you know, there is that part of this type of experience. But honestly, Hera brought, sure, he you know, played Man-at-Arms and played Longsword for a bit. But he had to ramp it up, you know? He had to ramp it up, and I'll take that, right? I lose the game, sure, but I am a caster after all, and like I said in the introduction, playing is not my career. I have dreams, but no real aspirations or time to commit or, you know, whatever the factors may be. And he switched it on. He had to go Hussar raid as well, killed over 100 villagers. I thought it was pretty decent. So, to end this, I do want to go back to something because I think it's going to be quite interesting to break down, and I think it's a really good game. Because at one point I had a 20 vil lead, right? And I want to talk about what could have gone differently for me, okay? Because, like, at this stage of the game, he's just added his second TC, I'm adding my third, and I have a pretty big vil lead, okay? Because I've been thinking about this. I would love to sit here and be like, well, you know, Hera was joking around, it doesn't matter that much. No, it does matter to me. I'm competitive. And so I wanted to talk about what I feel like the key moments of the game in which I felt I needed to improve, right? And the first one is recognition on the wood situation. I feel with crossbows, like I kept thinking in my mind, wood line here is a tower. That tower should mean nothing to me if I just sit crossbows here, right? In the late game where I was raiding from side to side, that was really good. I think I should have continued to do that. I got really fixated on the golds, which of course is also like still really good. I don't think that's necessarily bad. But I like this is just what's making me think, hitting the wood situation would be really, really strong. In general, like here's the tricky thing. So I think the other thing on paper that I should have been doing more of here is farming, right? But you might be like, okay, T90, why is he beating you in farms? Well, he's just like way faster, right? There's a speed discrepancy. I do not have the ability to multitask to the same level. So that's where it gets tricky. On paper, I should be having a better economy here. And ultimately, that's what he brought it back with. But I do want to talk about two more moments of the game which were within my means. I think it's important to view it within my means, because if you start to get too outside of that, then you're just, it's fairy tale land, right? So we move forward here, and I'm going with chakrams. Now, the chakrams gave us the highlight. The chakrams were fantastic. The chakrams were not bad. And I still need to see if I got my unique tech. But I think that going hand cannon, bombard cannon with Hussar would have actually been easier for me with a more concerted push. I really struggled producing trebs when I needed to because I was producing chakrams. And I really struggled producing, getting the numbers I needed to in various positions because I was producing out of a castle. Whereas it was more realistic for me to like possibly go for gunpowder as a primary focus. It may have been just as strong. Would I have also received more onager shots? Maybe. But that was my thinking was that. Now, the number one thing, maybe this doesn't change the game too much. Oh, there's the unique tech. Nice. The number one moment in the game, which really bothers me though, okay? And I'm saying this because I want, to talk it through, to learn myself, but maybe help you guys out, is this hill, okay? Sure, he's got the 5 relics, but I've got a lot of time here. And I'm building up the siege with the intention of coming to this hill, okay? I showed my hand too early here, all right? This is like kind of the next level on do not trickle treb, okay? Do not show your opponent it's a siege war, like a treb war, until you're ready to treb, essentially, right? And so I think what happened here from Hera's perspective, he has no reason for trebs, right? I've got him on the ropes. He's reacting to raids. He's still debating, do I play this into Hussars? How try hard do we go, right? What happens is, and again, this is, I think, the key moment of the game. Forget everything else. This moment is I build the castle too early, okay? Now, let's see. I don't actually remember if he made the treb right away when I was casting it earlier. Okay, boom, done. So, my thinking is, this is the one thing that literally came to my brain at 1 a.m. last night when I couldn't sleep, just for a variety of other reasons. My thinking was, what I need to have here is I need to have my trebs if I'm going trebs. Again, I didn't go trebs because I was going chakrams. Or I need to have my cannons cannoning, pressuring this castle, doing damage while simultaneously building this castle. This became a problem for me. This position, this moment in time, everything's peachy. Well, it's not peachy, But like, he's got the treb out already. He's starting to react. He knows this is a push coming in. Can you imagine if this raid's happening and I had my cannons on this castle and then this castle was going up, maybe even pulling more vills to build this? I really think this was the key. Because this whole area was a problem for me because he got the warning bells of this fight's happening. This whole area was like where we took the majority of the main fight. So that's kind of my main thing. Does it change the game? Does Hera figure it out? He probably figures it out, let's be honest. Am I proud of my performance? Yes. Did I have a lot of fun? Absolutely, I did. So that's why I wanted to bring the game to you guys. Like I said, if I died to longswords, you know, I'd feel like a crap player, right? So yeah. Okay, so that's about it. So I did want to ask you guys one more thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So let's actually look at this real quick. KD obviously destroyed a lot of things with the siege onagers and whatnot. I'm of course curious on your thoughts on the game and if you guys enjoyed the game. I would like to preface this with I am very much thinking this will not be a thing. What I'm about to ask for your feedback on, just because of all the things I am always doing and so busy with already. However, you know, here's the deal. When I streamed on Facebook for the 2 years, I had hour requirements straight up. And so I couldn't cast all the time. And so I streamed my gameplay. That was new for me, streaming my gameplay. On Twitch, I really have very little interest in streaming my gameplay. It's, you know, streaming while playing at the same time is about entertaining. I can't entertain and be, you know, my normal stream self if I'm playing at a high level. I play worse at times if I'm streaming. But then also the main thing is, and the main reason I don't do it, if you come to my channel, I want you to know what to expect, right? You load up a T90 video, that thumbnail brings you in, you want commentary, right? And I don't want people to be turned away if they get something other than that. However, I do play a lot, right? And I sometimes go back and forth on how much I wish to do so, as I try and pretend I need a better balance in life, or say that and then never follow it. But I was just wondering, would anyone out there have interest in like a potential gameplay channel? I mean, I'm playing the games anyways, right? Could potentially have a mic in front of my face. I actually talk out loud sometimes when I'm playing offline already to remind myself of key areas of the map. That's a new thing I'm doing. Just kind of curious if people were interested. It wouldn't affect the main channel. Could potentially be videos. Could potentially be like a Patreon exclusive as well, where I go through like tournament prep and what I was thinking about maps and just expand the content. Again, just kind of thinking through ideas. But, you know, if there's general interest there, it might be something I consider. But again, it does probably fall into the category of just another thing. And I do want to make sure the normal content flow continues to be the same. So maybe that's just dreamland, and maybe that's not a possibility for me. But either way, hope you guys understand the situation. Hope Hera and I brought you a really good game here. And I hope you guys had a fun time watching. That's kind of the main goal at the end of the day. I had a great time. It was a good game. And, you know, maybe next time we could make things happen. I do want to just mention one more thing. I know there could be some comments where someone said, T90, you should have got the relics, right? It's easy to look at the 5K gold, the 5 relics he collected, and think I need to get relics. The way I think about that is, the way I played this could have ended the game before relics mattered. It was all I could do to be this aggressive. And I think, as silly as it is, if I focused on relics at an earlier stage, the aggression or the boom or whatever I did just wouldn't have been there to the same level. And so there's other drawbacks. So that's kind of my final take on the relic situation is, yeah, I mean, ideal world, I have all 5 relics and I also have 6,000 APM and I also am 21 and not 30. But unfortunately, in real world, I couldn't get the relics and do everything else. I was so surprised he had them. Like, I came down here at one point and there was no relic. But yeah, anyways, good game. I'm rambling on too long. Thank you guys so much for the love and support. More content coming all the time, as you know. And I'll see you in the next one.